Welcome to Digger's Comics and Collectibles. That's right, we are finally in the comic book shop that I own. I run this with my son, and yeah, we have a lot of fun. In this video, though, we are going to talk about New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day is every Wednesday. That's right, every Wednesday new comic books come out. Now, you might think, well, just one day? It's every week. Every week, all of these comics, a new comic book comes out. And not just one title, a bunch of titles. So what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to show you what it's like to get ready for a new comic book day every week. We have our section that we have, which has new number ones. When new number one titles come out, we put them right here on the front where it's easy to see. And the new issues are on the shelf for the regular issues, and they have this little tag, new this week. So now you might think, okay, that's pretty cool. We get all the new books here, and that's easy. Just put the new number ones here, and then the new books, fill them in there. But you gotta look at that. There really is no empty space. I think there's like one space down there that's empty. So every week, I have to look at the invoice, and then I have to decide which of these books are coming off the shelf to make room for the new books. Now sometimes it's easy because I'll just go up to a title that is finished and it's on its last issue, and I'll take it off. Sometimes that's not the case. There are books up here that aren't finished, but sometimes they have to come off because maybe they don't sell as well, or sometimes there's too much space between their issues, so I take them off. With the number ones, every week these go off and they go on to this section. This rack behind it has all the current number one issues, so you can come over here and you can know where to start. They come here. We sometimes will put them on the end here, and also on this side of the rack here. And sometimes they go up here, but right now we had so many number one issues this week that this top rack here, this right here, and this side over here are all new number ones. And sometimes there are certain books that get their own little section. Like here, we have the Heroes Reborn section. So this is all the new Heroes Reborn stuff and all the back issues for Heroes Reborn. Sometimes it's just a lot of planning that goes into this, and sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, but we do our best. Why? Because we love comic books. So I thought to myself, let's show people what we do. Like I said, New Comic Book Day is every Wednesday. We don't do the Tuesday for DC books and the Wednesday for all the other books. We just do Wednesday for all books so that our customers aren't confused. They don't have to come down 2 days to make sure they get the new books. We like it if they come down every day. That's great. We have some people that come every day. That's awesome. But we don't want people to have to, some people schedule their work around it. Some people take like Wednesdays off, or they go in late on Wednesdays, or they get off early depending on when they work, and they come in and they get their new books on Wednesdays. So we don't want to have to confuse them with 2 days. Wednesdays is the day we do new comics, but Fridays is when it usually starts for us, because the lunar shipment, all the DC books come in on usually by Friday. Sometimes Friday, Saturday, sometimes even Thursday. It just depends on how fast they get the shipment here, but they do come in that early. So we'll be getting a box today, and I'll have to process that. I'll open the box, process it, make sure, processing means making sure we get all the books we're supposed to. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to take place over a couple days because we don't get all the other new books until Tuesday, which is the day before new comic books come out. So you're going to go behind the scenes of Digger's Comics and Collectibles as we take you back where it's just employees only, and you're going to see how we get a shipment ready to be sold to everybody. It's after 12 p.m. We are now open, and I'm in the back. Of course, I got to start off the day, even though it's afternoon, a little coffee. In addition to the new comic books that come out every week, sometimes we have independent comic books we have to make space for too. Like this book, Collectors in Fuego. It's a really cool comic book, you can pick that up here, or you can go to collectorscomic.com and read them online for free. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work right now. I have to go through last week's invoice to say what was damaged or what wasn't in the current shipment. So that's what I'm gonna do right now as I wait for the shipment. So I finished the shortage and damage report, and now it's time to move on and continue with the new release video that we put out every Saturday. So what I do is I open our invoice, I highlight the SKU number for the title I'm going to add to the video, and I just copy it. I go to the search bar on our distributor website, and I put it in there, enter, and we come up with the title. So this one we're doing here is Boston Metaphysical Society Scourge Mechanical Men One Shot. It's by Madeline Holly Rosing, which is she's a very good writer and actually a really good friend. And so we got we click on the art, and then we just drag that right over into Photoshop, and I put it in there and I size it, and there we go. And then what we do is we just center it on our page here, and then I just simply save it to one of these folders I have here. So I have those folders set up for Independence, Marvel, New Number Ones, Toys, Trades, DC Comics, things like that. So I'm just going to save that, and we'll move on to the next one. The comics have arrived. This is our lunar shipment, so it's all of our DC books. So we're going to get this box open and get to work. We got our invoice. That's what we're going to use to check off and make sure we got all the titles that we're supposed to have. And we got, usually there's only one box, but it looks like this week we have 2 boxes. So get that going right there. So here's the first box. Now, I do this a little different than most people, I think. I'm not sure. I will just open it up and take everything out. I kind of do it a little different. I turn it upside down very gently, as you can see, and then get our box cutter. I open it from the bottom, and you might think, why would you open it from the bottom? I will show you why. Let's hang this up here. All right, pop it open, move this out, and then I have this cardboard, or it's the same size as the box. Put it down there so none of the books get messed up. Get it all ready. Fold the tops over. Gently top it, and boom. How pretty is that? And then we'll just break this box down later and put it in the recycling bin. So some of the books we got this week, we got some stuff for Space Jam. Haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know if it's any good. Hopefully it is. Hopefully people like the book. We got some of these young adult novels. Here, this by Ryan North. I think it's funny that it's Constantine, but he doesn't have a cigarette. He's got a lollipop because he's a teenager. That's kind of cool. And it happens to be the Green Arrow 80th anniversary. This is not Mike Grell, but it's an homage to Mike Grell's run. So all I gotta do now is just check them off on this list and get them ready for bag and boarding, so they're all ready to go for all of our wonderful customers on Wednesday. So it is 3:58 in the morning. I have finished and editing the new release video that we release every Saturday at Diggers Comics and Collectibles. It's now uploading to YouTube. I created the thumbnail. I put it into YouTube. It's got about 3 minutes left to upload, and it's set to premiere on Saturday at 11 a.m.
I don't really have a set time. I just usually do it at 11 since we open at 12. It's about an hour before we open. People can start watching the video, and then if they want to let us know what they want, they can call us, come in, message us, things like that. I know you're thinking, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, why aren't you in bed? And it's not because I was working on the video. I usually don't go to bed until like 4, sometimes 5 in the morning. But yeah, so yeah, now it's 4 in the morning. I'm going to turn this off and probably go to bed. Maybe not. Maybe I'll play a real quick MLB The Show before I go to bed, and then off to bed. The time between processing the Lunar Shipment, the DC comics, and when all the other comic books come in on Tuesday, what I have to do is I take the invoice for the incoming books like this, and what I do is I take it and I highlight in yellow what books that are coming in that need a spot on the shelf. And then the pink lines are what books are new number 1s that are going on the new number 1 rack. And then I put a red line, just a straight red pen line through the books that already have a spot, so they're going to be fine, or they're trade paperbacks. Trade paperbacks I just figure out on the day that the books come in. I try to spotlight some. Some just go on the shelf. Some go up in the front over here. You can see over there on the front where we have the newest trade paperbacks. Some go on the rack over there, the shelf. Some get highlighted right on our counters. So there's just, you know, a lot of different places where the books can go as far as trades go. So I don't worry about that. I just worry about what books need a spot. Like for instance, well, here's a good example. So Far Cry and Freak Show, those are number 2 issues. So those are definitely going to need a spot because they will be on the number 1s. Now I put a little mark next to Far Cry. I put a yellow line and I put a little red mark. I know Far Cry is going to the new shelf, but there's also we still have issues of the first issue on the number 1 rack. So those go over, so I know there's going to be a space on the number 1 rack. The thing is that we have all the new number 1s that came out last week that are going to have to move from the end rack over onto the main rack where all the first issues are, but they're not new this week. So I also have to take into account what issues are on the number 1 rack that I can either move, consolidate, or something like that. So it's just a lot of planning to do, and this happens every single week. People don't realize, they think new comic books come in and they just put them on the shelf. Nope, we have to figure out, all comic book shops have to figure out what's staying on the shelf and what's going off the shelf. What I did is I wrote down all the potential titles from the main wall that could possibly come off. So I'll go onto our Diamond website and our Lunar website to see where these titles stand. Like if it's the last issue of a series, then we'll take it off. I think there's Nuclear Family. Nuclear Family just finished with its 5th issue. It is the end of that series, so we'll probably take it down. There's books like we have Reptile from Marvel that we have 2 spots for. We can move it over, consolidate it into 1. Things like that. Things that we're not going to, you know, probably carry anymore. Things that aren't selling very well. So if I go to put a new couple new issues on a title and I see a big stack and I look and I see, like if I'm only ordering 3 or 4 copies of that book and I see 3 or 4 copies, 3 or 4 copies, 3 or 4 copies of the title, I know nobody's buying it. So I can't carry it. Now if somebody comes in and requests it, say, hey, I want to put that on my pull list, then we'll order just for them. I have a couple of books like that where I order just 1 for somebody. It's Sunday. It's after 8, and I technically should have been out of about a half hour ago, but I bought a big collection of toys this week, and that kind of pushed everything behind. Sometimes that happens, which is, it's cool because I love looking at collections and I love buying collections. If I can make money off them, I'm happy to, you know, make a deal with somebody. I'll figure out exactly what books are going to come off, and yeah, so that's it for today. It's Tuesday,
this is our big day for new comic book day. This is the day that the main shipment comes in. This is the day we process all the remaining books, what we get from our distributor Diamond Comics, and then after we process them, we bag and board them, and then we get them ready for our pull list customers. These are customers who have a little list with us that tell us what books they want us to hold for them every month, which works out to be every week. Sometimes they have some, sometimes they don't, but that's what we have to do today. The first thing I have to do is have to write a check, because not a lot of people know that. Well, if you own a comic book shop, you know, but most people don't know is that when it comes to comic books, we pay for the comic books every week. As soon as they arrive, we have to give the UPS driver a check, because it's COD. We have to pay for those books right then. So we advance pay for all the stuff that we sell, and then we try to sell it and make our money back. That's what we try to do. So it's a never-ending circle there. So I'm going to write the check, but then after that, there's a bigger project I have to do before I can even process the books. And this is not something that happens every week. This is just something that happens now, because as I told you, we just bought a big collection of toys and collectibles, and they're kind of in the way. So all of this stuff here needs to be put away. Now I can't clean it up. I can't put it away like in drawers and stuff, and it just has to be moved out of the way so we can process the shipment. So I'm gonna have to move everything onto the couch over there, just kind of stack it up, get it out of the way, put some stuff over here on shelves. So that's what I got to do before I can even get the shipment and process the shipment. So, gotta get to it. And it's just that easy. I wish everything took that long to clean up. The shipment has arrived, finally. But before I can do the shipment, you gotta take care of yourself first. So it's lunchtime, and I have one of the best breakfast burritos you're ever gonna have. This is from a little place called El Ranchito Taco Shop. I'm not sure where they're located around California, but we have like 4 or 5 of them in our general area. So my son and I get these all the time. So free plug for El Ranchito and their awesome bacon breakfast burrito. It was so good. It's got egg, and they don't scramble the egg. It's like fried egg where they break the yolk, beans, hash browns, cheese, bacon, and green salsa. It is, I tell you, if you ever see a El Ranchito Taco Shop, get the bacon breakfast burrito.
We already have 4 guests on. We don't need 5. Oh, 5 including the check.
I'm going. Anyone else?
I will. Me too.
Later.
Wait.
It's only a hacker, Courtney. Boxes out of here.
We got the books here. We're gonna take these out. This only opens on one side, so I'm gonna take my cardboard again and flip it over. This is where you gotta be real careful. You just gotta flip it over, lay them out, lift up the box nice and gently, make sure none of them fall, and then we're ready to go. I take the books and then I log them on here, make sure I got them all. Then I lay them on this table over here like this, and then Ambrose, my son, is gonna grab them, and he's gonna bag and board them and get them ready to be put on the shelf. So all the books have been checked in. We were missing quite a few, so I've already reported our damages and our shortages. I try to do it as fast as I can so we can get them replaced. I have the new #1 stacked over here with the trades, and then I've been stacking up the current issues here on the table. The whole table's full, but Ambrose comes and he grabs a stack at a time like this. He takes it out there and then he bags and boards it and gets it ready. And of course I have to have a little stack over here of the books that I'm gonna get. Put those over to the side. So Ambrose is here. He's working on the current issues. He's bagging and boarding them.
That's right.
That's right. Nobody bags and boards
Quite like
as
me.
well. Quite like him. And so yeah, we put them in these boxes here, and then we're ready to go. Once they're all done, we do the pull lists in a perfect world. However, today is not a perfect world because our shipment didn't come in till later.
We're at 3.
At 3. So we're right now it is 6:30. So it's 6:30. So what we'll probably do, usually this is what normally happens. Usually we bag and board them, we get them in the back there. We get the boxes like from here where you can see all of our pull list customers, and then we get the binder that has the names and what they want, and I'm back there and I'm pulling them and putting them in their box. But because the shipment came so late and we're just processing it now, what we'll probably do is put everything on the shelf, and then after we're done with that, then we'll do the pull lists together. So while Ambrose is out front bagging and boarding the issues, I have to get these, and what these are, they're like comic book dividers, but they're real slick on one side, so they're good for dry erase. What we do is we write down like the title of the book that comes out, and so we can put it on when we move the books around on the shelf. We put this as a space holder. So what I've done is I have 11 of them because that's how many we need to make space for on the regular wall, and I'm going to write down the titles of the books that need space, and I've highlighted them in yellow here so I know which ones need space. So I just write them down here, and one of the things I have to do is, like for instance, this is Far Cry, and it's number 2. Now I don't write the numbers on here, I just write the titles. And since I know that one's number 2, I'm not going to write it down here, but I know it's number 2, so when he's moving stuff on the wall to make room for this space holder, I'll go to the number 1s, the section we have of number 1s, and I know we still have some Far Cry number 1s, and I'll move those over to this spot once I see it available. Then I'll take the card out and put it away. And that's what he does. He makes all the spaces, he puts the cards in there, and when we put the books on there, we just take the card and we put it back here and use them for the next week. I have obtained the list of titles we're taking off out of the printer. I finished the dry erase placeholders. So now what I do is I take these, put them in this fancy schmancy clipboard. I just take the cards, drop them in there, drop the titles right on top, seal it up like that, and then usually what I'll do is I'll leave this out front for Ambrose to take care of. With the lists made, and Ambrose still working on all that stuff, I got to get started now. We only have about like 5-10 minutes before we close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving all of the last week's first issues over to the first issue back inventory that are on the shelves here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. What I do is I take certain books. If I have to make space, if something's not going to the wall over there, what I'll do is I'll take, like, say for instance this, we have Save Yourself, we have the A and the B cover, I'll just combine them. Sometimes what I'll do is intermix them one after the other, like A, B, A, B, A, B, stuff like that, but I'm in a hurry right now, so I'm not going to do that. And then, like, for instance, we have Shang-Chi number 1. Well, Shang-Chi number 2 is coming out tomorrow, so this one I'll put over to the side because this is what he's going to put on the wall over there. I have removed all of the number 1 issues that came out last week, so they're all off the shelf. So we have 18 spaces here, and then we have a lot of spaces that are up here. Like I said, we normally use these just for current issues or spotlight books, but depending on how many number 1s we have, we may have to utilize it. So it's all moved down, it's all filled in right down here. You can see those are all current number 1 issues. They're not new this week, so they go on that rack right there. So I'm gonna do a little less filming and a little more work. So Barbaric is out, then Boston Metaphysical Society. Then the next book will be Buffy. But there's 2 covers for Buffy and there's only 1 spot. So I'm going out of order and we're gonna put Godzilla. So it's not always in order. So don't come in here and say, hey, you got a book out of order, because it's not. I put them in order whatever way I want.
It is out of order.
There's no rules that say it has to be alphabetical. When Ambrose first started working here, when we opened the shop, it was his first real introduction to stocking comic books. He's seen comic books, he read comic books, he likes comic books, but he had a hard time when we were filing stuff, when we were putting stuff away, putting Action Comics under S. He did not get why Action Comics would be under S.
I just didn't like it.
Well, he says now you hear he says he understood it, but he didn't like it because it's a Superman comic, and all the Superman comics go under S.
I do it now.
So Action Comics goes under S. Same thing with Detective Comics. Where does Detective Comics go?
Under B for Batman.
Under B for Batman. So all the books are out. We got them all on the shelf. Some of them didn't fit on the shelf because we have a lot, because some of them are going to our pull list, which is what we're going to do right now. So we got our binder here, and we got our binder with all of our pull list customers. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to call out the titles we need. Ambrose is going to grab them, and then I'm going to put them in the box. So the first person in our pull box,
There I am.
because we don't go by last name on that one. So put that there. Then what I do is I take my little divider here and I stick that where it goes. That way when I'm flipping through these, if I, like say we're over here to this gentleman and the comics slide forward, I know when he brings me the books, I just stick my hand where the slot is and open it up, and that's right where we go, and that's right where we put the books. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to bust out because we want to get out of here, and he's probably gonna leave with his girlfriend. So I thought we were gonna get something to eat, but when she shows up on Tuesdays, I kind of know he's going with her.
I'm sorry.
Am I right? I'm right, right?
He doesn't have
There's nothing wrong with that. I told him for the longest time. I said when he'd come home, and I said, "Why aren't you going with your girlfriend?" He said, "Oh no, thought I had to come home." When I was his age, I spent every moment I had with my girlfriend. I went everywhere with her. I didn't care what my brothers wanted to do or my friends wanted to do. I was like going with my girlfriend. That's what I would do. So we're gonna try and bust this out so he can go with her, do whatever, and then I'll go home and make myself like a microwave dinner or something. No, I'll get something good to eat. You know me, I'm gonna get something good to eat, even if it's microwave dinner. It's good. Anyway, let's go. We got the first one here.
Let's do it.
Let's flip to who we got. This guy is not here. So yeah, we need Black Cat, Amazing Spider-Man, and crossover.
Now we're gonna buy chips first and not Donny Cates.
Yeah, here we go. So then we take those and I go to the gentleman. I tell you what I do, and I didn't even have it done. So I have that there for that gentleman. It goes in. Boom. We move to the next one, and oh, here we go, big one. Sometimes we have people that have a lot of stuff, and they have little notes of stuff that they want when they come in and tell us after their pull list is done. All right, Godzilla. We need Godzilla and Infinite Frontier, Avengers Mech Strike, and Kaiju Max. Barbaric. I think his are in the back. I laid them down. So that's how it works. He's grabbing the books, and usually he'd already have them to me, but some of the covers for one of the books, Barbaric, I knew that this gentleman wanted them, so I set them aside to the back.
Here we are.
There we go. So that's his stack, and we'll put them in there. And moving on. It is now 9:30, almost 9:35. We are finally finished. We got all the pulls. All the comics are ready for our customers to come in on New Comic Book Day, which is every Wednesday here at Diggers Comics and Collectibles. So yeah, we're gonna go now because we gotta hurry because we're trying to get to Blaze to have dinner before they close at 10 o'clock. I almost forgot. One more thing we do, the final thing we do for New Comic Book Day. We do something a little different with our ratio variants that we get in the shop. Now, ratio variants are books that come like a 1 in 10, a 1 in 25. So for every 10 or every 25 copies we order of that certain title, we're able to get a ratio variant. And a lot of times, because they're a little more rare, they cost a little more, so they get marked up. We take the list like this, and I get the prices for them. Basically, what I do is I see what the going rate is, either on other websites or on eBay. I look at the last 5 sold items, and then I average it out. And then I usually mark it down a little bit lower because I want, you know, obviously it's more expensive, but I still want people to get a deal. So yeah, that's what I do. I get them, I mark them down, I get them ready, and then I make the graphics in Photoshop, and then we post them on our social media. It is now posted and ready to go, so the floodgates are open, and then we just mark down everybody's name, and then we give them till the end of Thursday, which we do it every Wednesday. And at the end of Thursday we pick the names, and then on Fridays we let them know, then they have a week to come in and pick it up. Otherwise we go to the next name. That's gonna do it for this video. We hope you enjoyed the video, a little behind the scenes look at what it's like to get new comic books ready each and every week in a comic book shop. If you get a chance, visit my shop, Diggers Comics and Collectibles. You can see the information right there. We're in Hemet, California. But you know what? Even if you can't come here and you don't live around here and you're watching this somewhere else, go to your local comic shop. Go to your local comic shop and buy some comics. Or just hang out, enjoy the atmosphere of being in a comic shop. Comic book shops are awesome, and I tell everybody, people say to me, don't you worry about competition? For me, there is no competition when it comes to comic book shops. I think you should go into each and every comic book shop you see. If you see one, go into it, support it, have fun in it. People buy their weekly comic books in the city they live. That's where they get them. But you know what? There are other things on the walls. There are other things in the bins that aren't in the comic shop that you go to every week. There's different things in the cases, collectibles. You gotta explore and see everything out there. Give every comic book shop you see a chance. I don't care where it is. If you see one, stop and go inside. Have fun at the comic book shop. With that said, my preference is Diggers Comics and Collectibles. Thanks for watching our videos. We hope you liked it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have, tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.